Hi guys, welcome to Next Telling and welcome to my Sunday commentary. Something I think about a lot is motherhood and how we've got it all wrong. Like I think that, motherhood, and when I say motherhood or parenting, I'm thinking of those first, let's say 5 years of a baby's life. I have three younger siblings and I don't remember all my siblings being born, but I remember the last one being born. And I remember the day we were asked to go and see her in the hospital, like after she was born, next morning. They said, "So come and see your younger sister." When there, one of my sisters even gave her one of her names. But the thing was that day, that evening, my mom's mom came in from Onitsha. And I grew up in Enugu, came in from Onitsha. It's like back then it was a 30 to 40 minutes drive. She came from Onitsha to come and start taking care of the baby. And I just remember thinking back then, just remembering, like I didn't process what was happening. I just thought, okay, this is really cool. Mama is around because Mama was cool. I liked her, so she came around and she was there for I don't remember how long, but it felt like months. For a very long time, she was just there bathing the baby. So I remember one time even asking, why is Mommy not bathing the baby? And my grandmother looked at me like, why would you want Mommy to do it when me I'm here? That because I'm here, I'm going to do it. I didn't put too much thought to it. Then after she left, my father's mom came. My father's mom was much, much, much older. Another very cool woman. I had the best grandmothers. That one came to stay for a few months and then left. So the first time I can actually remember my mommy being solely responsible for her daughter, which was our last born. I think at that point, my sister was almost 5 months, 5 or 6 months at that point. And these are two stories. This story number one is my mom. Story number two is my sister. My sister got married and she lived in Lagos. But for some reason, she had to be in Onitsha for a particular period of time. So in that time when she was in Onitsha, she gave birth. There I stand. The plan was not for her to born in Onitsha. It was for her to give birth in Lagos. But somehow she ended up being in Onitsha. I remember then I was in Enugu. And my dad called me in the night and told me, or was it, yeah, that night, I said, your sister has given birth. I was like, what? So, but because he called me around, I think it was 9 in the night. I had to go to my office, told my office people, my sister gave birth. And then I ran off the next morning. Before 9, I was in the hospital with her baby. So when we went home, all of us went home together. And we started taking care of things. And because the planning was not well done, and all that, there were a lot of things. And my mom died when like this mom I'm talking about, the one I talked about in my first story. She died when our last born was about 2 years old. So my mom was not around. It was just my dad and then me and my sister. And we had to figure out how to do something with this child. However, we were not alone. So I think that was the first time I started paying attention to what exactly was happening. And that was that, as mainly because when she was in Onitsha is where I'm from, a lot of relatives actually came and started offering to care for the child. I didn't understand it. I was like, well, I was thankful for it. I'm not going to lie. But I just thought, why all of you? Different women, because my mom died when we were much young. A lot of women took on the attitude of we're your mom. So a lot of times they wouldn't see us misbehave. They will call us out. It was common with us and our family. So a lot of times it was like one of my sisters can come and say, auntie, this one did this one. Be like, yeah, sorry now, why did you do that thing? It was just a common behavior. So turn by turn, different aunties were coming around. And I remember one of my aunties, one of the best aunties, what I have, I'm thankful for the relatives I have. My auntie then, she was working in an exec, like in her work, this thing, she was higher on the ladder. And this woman left her work and came and stayed with us in Onitsha. She lives in Lagos, by the way. So she left her work. She was working office job. She was high she came to Onitsha, stayed with us for I think 3 weeks straight. That 3 weeks, we gave her room to sleep in. She refused to sleep in the room. She wanted to stay on the couch that was close to her own room so that if the baby cried at night, my sister, who had just given birth, would be able to sleep so she can carry her child. Are you following me in my conversation? We've done this thing where we've imbibed a lot of things from the West, which I think really suck. It was after I gave birth, like a few days or weeks after I gave birth, that I realized how harmful this Western idea of first-time parents, not even first-time motherhood, this early motherhood, the way we're attacking it is very, very wrong. Originally, right, where I'm from, Nigeria, Southeast Nigeria, there's something called the Omugo. Omugo is usually your parents, that's the parents of the mother or father, will come and care for the child. So you see this thing where a mother is depressed, anxious, feels a lot of stress, is not sleeping well. All those things are easier to manage when you have other people that can care for baby. Because think about it. Do you know how stressed you're going to be if you're mentally, your mind is playing tricks on you because you just gave birth to a whole human being? Then you have to also care for the said human being. You can't do it fully well. A lot of, like, ask, if you don't have a child, if you're a man, you've never given birth, or you're a woman who has not given birth yet, ask the ones that have given birth. Ask them what their stories were like. Some people are lucky. It's not that bad for them. But you see, this thing where it is only the mother or mother and father, that's, you have to prove your ability to be a parent by doing and doing and doing everything. I think it's a very flawed way of looking at parenting. Like I said, the first 4 to 5 years of a baby's life, as many hands that can be involved. And this is why it's important that you keep your important friendships, your friends, your siblings, your this thing, your parents. A lot of times social media will tell you, your parents are this thing, cut them off, blah blah blah. Do you understand that you need these people? You likely will need them. A big thing seems to be happening now. We've been hearing about it for a while. I think I heard it first in 2012 or so, 2012 or 2013, where the family, now a lot of Nigerians are outside the country, so the family is outside the country, and someone gives birth, the child, a son's wife or a wife gives birth, and they need omogo. They will come and transfer the mother. At first, men didn't understand what was happening. A lot of times when the men were not treating the family well, do you understand? They have no problem collecting your wife to go and take care of their child. But this isn't even about marriage per se. I'm focusing on that thing where we've been taught that it is us, only us, the person that sat down and gave birth to that child, that can do everything, that can see to it that child does well. I don't think so. I feel like it's one of those Western things we've collected, that there's no, and we're struggling for it. By we, I mean we, the mothers, we're struggling for it, and it's not going well. A lot of us we're unhappy. I mean, it wasn't not, well, I'll say in recent time, it's with this type of thing that I start hearing things like postpartum depression. Depression is, I feel like depression, if it happen, because your body, your hormones, what your body has done is normal. But is it not easier to manage? Like, imagine if you look at your child, you don't feel like touching your child, but there's somebody else that can take care of that child. So you're not thinking, I cannot take care of this child, but I have to do it. So it like affects the way you do it. You have to be, there's a pampering of the mother because you brought life. You did something that I consider very sacred. It's very sacred. You brought a whole human being to this world. No, go easy. Try it. Run and see if it's easy now. Some people are doing 4, 5, 6. So some parents have 3 children already that they have to care for. Then they bring another baby fresh from the hospital, and they have to care for everybody. Is it good like that? And the thing is that when you read enough books, a lot of books that you read will tell you things like, and then capitalism has also entered the matter. That's another one I also found out when I got pregnant or after I gave birth. So a lot, like, they tell you, if you buy this, they tell you, the teeth for the bottle, for the milk, is supposed to be soothing. If you buy this type of chair, it has a vibrating this thing, it will help. If you buy this light, use white noise. A baby that will cry will cry you. I don't mean to sound the way I think I sound right now, but believe me, a baby, that's what babies do. As a matter of fact, if you have a baby 4, 5 days, they don't cry straight, something is wrong. Carry that baby, go hospital. People will cry. So when you're sold, this particular cream is this one, it helps to soothe this one, to nurture this one, to do blankets will do this one, the cream will do this one, the powder, the hairnet, they will sell all these things to you. What they are trying to get you to replace is the need for working with other people. I was very lucky when I gave birth. I was so lucky. Like, it's a luck that is kind of covered in something sad that happened. Do you understand? 2 days after my father-in-law died, my daughter was born. But what that meant was that within a week, because my husband's family is actually quite large, a lot of family members started coming in. So a lot of his siblings, doctors, some are doctors, so, all of them came around. So everybody was just putting hand. My mother-in-law has 2 siblings that are like 2 sisters that are like besties like her. So in the instant her husband died, 2 of them came to sit with her so that they can console her. So they were with her for almost a month. What that meant is that I did not touch. I don't think I gave my baby a bath for the first time, I think when she was about 4 months or so. Because after that funeral, my mother-in-law still insisted that I stayed, because we had our own house, but we're staying with our in-laws because daddy had just died. So until we moved back to our own house, I never had to give my baby a bath. My mother-in-law took it as a personal. So her sister started, then one of my husband's sister did it. Then even my own sister at one point came. My younger sister, one of them came and stayed with me for about a week or so. Stayed with me, would gist, would laugh. I don't know if you understand. this thing, I think, and what I just want to focus on is that we have to understand the importance of community. You get, it is good that we copy some things from the West, but let's not throw away some of the things that are very important and helpful to our culture. The same West that told us that we should cut off our family, we can do everything ourselves, are the same ones that are coming to tell us that postpartum is a problem, postpartum depression is a problem, anxiety after birth is a problem. I had a heart failure. After I gave birth. Imagine if I was dealing with this. This is a physical. This is not psychological. This one is physical. My heart did like this when I was pregnant. When I was doing labor, my heart did like this. Said I'm no more doing. Imagine having to deal with that and then still having to care for a baby. It was very stressful, but my life was much easier because there were people that could care and help me out. Once everybody just knew, this girl is not feeling well. Nobody. They just left me. They say, let her rest, let her sleep, let her rest, let her get better. The focus was let her get better. So people, now imagine if I was alone. If I was alone, I said, a lot of us are like super moms because we want to prove our ability to be great moms. So we want to do everything. You want to wake up, you want to bath, you want to do this, you must feed the baby, you must do breast, what's that thing, breastfeed, exclusive breastfeeding in 1 year. You must do this one. No. You do everything. And on top of that, you're not feeling well. Anyway, I know it sounds like I'm scolding you people, but I think that I'm going to speak a little more on this thing. The problem with the West, with our Western these things, the things that we've collected from the West and taken as important. There are so many things that I think of. I think of our architecture, I think of our fashion, I think of the way we relate to each other. Social media, I think, is even making it worse because people who have a totally different history, I explain to you with your own different history how to do now. That's not how it works. The way where you come from affects your ability to do what you will do moving forward and what you're doing presently. So that's it with me on this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, click like and let me know if you're someone that gave birth. I want to know what your birthing situation was like. How did it happen? Were you alone? Did you have family? Did you feel lucky? Did you feel unlucky? Because I've also heard of parents that came and they seem to add more stress. Those things have their own thing. Those things also do exist. But I'll just say that let's not destroy the community here. These things existed for a reason. When we lived back then, when we lived in the huts that they said we lived in, and we lived and played with mud, not played with mud, that used mud to make, used clay to make our own things. There was something that we're working with. And I think you even talk about kitchen utensils. Now they're telling us that non-stick is a problem. Meanwhile, we're using pots before. We're using clay. Ceramic. We're using ceramic before. Now non-stick is a problem. Don't use non-stick. Don't use silicone. Don't use. Anyway, let me just say the last thing I'm going to say is that there's a reason why, like, a lot of the Asian countries, I'm talking of like maybe China, Japan, people that decide to hold on more to their cultures, and I'm talking of the way they design things, the way they design their lives. There's a reason why they are more respected and they are thriving more than we that decide to dump what we had and decide to embrace 100% embrace a culture that was not ours. So that's it. Until next time.